Hey y'all, welcome back to week 4 of the January Pantry Challenge. I'm going to show you what we had for breakfast, lunches, and dinners this week. And I'm making 2 pizzas here. I'm making a barbecue chicken pizza, and this one's kind of going to be like a spinach cream cheese chicken pizza. I'm just making this up with what I had on hand, and this turned out really good. So I'll just saute the spinach in the avocado oil and let that wilt down. And then I'll add some chicken and the cream cheese and also some garlic and salt and pepper, or garlic powder, and let that cook down for a little bit. And the chicken broth will thin it out and it'll make it like a nice sauce. And I love that parmesan. I'm going to be buying that again. And I'm going to also shred up that other cheese for the barbecue chicken pizza. And I get to use up all that whipped cream cheese that I had. And just mix that all together. Just like I said, mix that, the cream cheese, garlic powder, salt, and pepper. And all I did was cook that down. And then I added the chicken. All I did was cut the chicken up into pieces. I just pulled it off the bone. I'm using the rotisserie chicken from last week's video and trying to use that up. So I thought making these 2 chicken pizzas would be a good way to use up all that chicken. And I asked Doug if he wanted a buffalo chicken pizza or a barbecue chicken pizza, and he said he wanted the barbecue chicken one. And all I did was cook that sauce, and I'm just going to put it on the crust. And I'll also shred up some of that Parmesan cheese and put that on the top. I'm going to start buying this instead of that pre-shredded cheese, even though I like that good kind. I can't remember. I think it's 3C. It was way better than the one in the green can, but this is even better than that, so I'm going to start grating my own. But this turned out really good, even though I just made it up. But like I said, if you wanted to add any other kind of toppings, you could, or even adding some mozzarella cheese. And this will go in a 425-degree oven. And then I'll start on the barbecue chicken pizza. All I did was just use the barbecue sauce as the sauce. And then I added more with some more of that chicken and just mixed that together. And I like the cheddar cheese on this one. And I also added a little bit of the mozzarella cheese. And I also put some of the Parmesan cheese over the top as well. So I'll just put all that cheese on the top, and I'll put this in the oven with the other pizza. And these turned out really good. I can't believe that white pizza turned out so good. I would definitely make this if I were you. For breakfast the next morning, we had some cinnamon rolls. I made some grits and some hash browns. Even though we didn't have any breakfast meat, we didn't care because this was so good and it hit the spot. Today for dinner, I'm going to make some white chicken chili with some of that leftover chicken that I had. And I'm going to use some of my home canned salsa, some navy beans, and the chicken broth from yesterday. And I've got a half a block of softened cream cheese, and I will warm that up. And I'll also add a can of beans, and I'm going to mash it up with the cream cheese and let it get softened. Also, I like some of my beans mashed up. It makes it a little bit thicker. And now I'm going to add a half a jar of the salsa. It's kind of more like a red chili instead of a white chili, because I had to use the salsa because I didn't have any of the green chilies that I like to use in this. But it was still really good, and it got a lot of flavor from the salsa. And now I'm going to add the chicken broth. I like mine a little bit thinner. I don't like it really, really thick. So I add a little bit of time until I get it the consistency that I like. And now I'm going to go ahead and add the chicken in. And I'm also going to add some corn. I love corn in chili, whether it's red chili or white chili. I like a lot of corn in it. And I didn't drain the whole can. I like some of that liquid in there. It kind of gives it a little bit of sweetness. I also added some chili powder, garlic powder, salt, and pepper, and we just let this simmer. And we ate it just like it was. We didn't even eat anything with it. It was a long day, so we were ready to call it a night. This morning I made Doug 2 turkey sandwiches and some chips for lunch, and I also made him some sausage and a couple of eggs for breakfast. Hey y'all, for my breakfast this morning, I'm hungry, but I can't find anything that I want to eat. I don't have any, I mean, I have sausage, and bacon takes too long, and I'm hungry, so I'm just gonna do a lazy breakfast. I'm gonna scramble an egg. I didn't even really scramble a bowl. This is already used with the sausage. So I'm just gonna cook this egg. I've got salt and pepper, and I'm gonna melt the cheese in with it. Alrighty, here's my breakfast sandwich. I toasted it just barely. I don't like it really crunchy, but I like it just a little bit toasted. So that's what I'm having for breakfast. That next day for breakfast, I just scrambled up Doug some eggs, laid some sausage over the top, and melted some cheese, and that's what he had for breakfast for 2 days in a row. We're having tacos tonight. I took that ground beef with some of that salsa and mixed that together with some taco seasoning. I've got lettuce, cheese, avocado, and some onions that I cut up. Also got some sour cream here. And I'll also add some of that salsa to our tacos. And that's it. That's what we're having for dinner tonight, and it was so good, y'all. Today for lunch we're having BLT since I went and got that bacon because we were out of breakfast meat, and I've just got some mayonnaise, some toast, some lettuce and tomato to have with it. I took some lemon chicken out of the freezer. I just put it in a lemon sauce and had it frozen, so I cooked it in the crock pot, and it had like a lemon sauce left over. So I'm going to heat that up in my pan, and I'm going to thicken it up with some cornstarch and make like a sauce or gravy with it. And I've also just made some mashed potatoes out of some potatoes that I had already in the pantry. I'm heating the sauce to boiling, and then I mix some cornstarch and water, and I'm just going to add that to the boiling broth and let it thicken up. I had some broccoli in the freezer, so I just steamed that with some salt and pepper and put a pat of butter on there. And there's my mashed potatoes, the homemade mashed potatoes, the chicken, thickened up that gravy, and made a salad, and I also had some of that Italian dressing that I'm in love with. And this was so good. That was so convenient to have that chicken in there, the lemon chicken. All I had to do is put in the crock pot and cook it, and this was really good. For me this morning, I just heated up some rice and fried up some liver mush, and that was what I had for breakfast this morning. The boys wanted some macaroni and cheese, so I'm just going to I cooked the noodles up and just put a couple slices of cheese in there. I think I added one more slice, but this is just quick and easy, and we all ate it for lunch, and we were happy. For dinner the next night, we just had leftovers, and they were still really good. This morning for breakfast, I'm going to try and clean out the fridge. I've got some bacon, an old avocado that I scraped the top of it off, and I toasted my bread just barely. I don't really like it that crunchy. I just scrambled an egg with some salt and pepper, and I'm going to put that on top, and I sliced that avocado, and I added some pepper, and it was delicious. Hey y'all, it's Sunday night. It's the last night of the Pantry challenge for the week, and we are watching football tonight, so I thought I would put together some of the snacks that we like to eat watching football. And I made some pico here. It's just tomatoes, onions, cilantro. Then just put some lime juice, salt and pepper, onion powder, garlic powder. And this was really good. And the Pioneer Woman always does equal amounts of each, but I just throw it in there. And it's always good no matter how much you put in there. And I've also got some jalapenos that I'm going to put in. These are really hot, so I'm going to kind of go easy on those, but I just put like a little spoonful in there. If you can take a lot more heat, put more in there. And I've got some queso here. I've got some milk, and I got this queso blanco from Aldi, and I'm going to put just maybe a fourth of that block in there, and those jalapenos, and that's going to be our queso dip. So I don't really go by a recipe, but you want it to be not thick but not thin. So this needed to be melted a little bit more. And also I'm putting some more of those jalapenos in there. But you can put any kind of taco seasoning in there. You could put Rotel in there. You can just do whatever you'd like with this. But this is the way we like it, with just some jalapenos. And you can even put green chilies in there too. Here I just sliced up about 4 medium potatoes. I wanted to kind of make it like potato skins, where you just put the cheese on top and bacon and green onions. But I put them in the air fryer, and I did not check them until it was almost too late. And a lot of them were kind of too brown. But this still turned out really good, and I didn't want to peel them. Thought that would make it a lot easier just to cut them up unpeeled, but mine were green, so I made sure to go ahead and peel them. And then after they were done, well, really done, I just topped it with the cheese and bacon and green onions. And this was really good, and we ate it with some sour cream. And there's the queso there. And I also had the pico, and I thought we were out of the chips, but I finally found some in the back room, and we had those. Alright, y'all, this is how we're ending the January Pantry Challenge. We're going to have some brownies, and I'm using this Martha White Brownie Bites packet, and it was only $1, and you just add 3 tablespoons of vegetable oil and an egg, and of course I had to add some pecans because I love me some pecans, and I just greased a muffin tin, even though they stuck really bad, so make sure you either use some liners or grease that really good. But these turned out amazing, and we ate every one of them. I hope y'all enjoyed following along on the January Pantry Challenge, and I'll give you an update on how we did and what our fridge, freezers, and pantry looks like. So I'll see y'all in the next one.